Welcome to Kautilya. Today's topic is circulatory system. So what actually is circulatory system? We all know that human body has a humans has well developed circulatory system. And what is the use of this circulatory system? Circulatory system helps in the transportation of different substances from one place to the other place of the body, or from one part to the other parts of the body. And this circulatory system is of different types in animals or in plants. So like system is present both in animals and plants. In animals, in simple organisms like sponges, so circulation is through diffusion process. And in where in case of highly advanced organisms, it is through the well developed circulatory system. So what actually the circulatory system will do? The circulatory system helps in the transfer of, as I told you, that it may be proteins, it may be hormones, it may be an enzymes, it may be an nutrients. These all the substances were transported from one part of the body to the other part of the body. And the types of circulatory systems, there are two types of circulatory systems. One is open circulatory system and another one is closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system means, in this open circulatory system, blood doesn't flow through these vessels like veins and arteries. Veins and arteries are not present in this open circulatory system. Blood flows in between the cells, and we call that space as intracellular space. Blood flow through the intracellular space in the body, and it doesn't have any kind of separate pathways like veins and arteries, and it is mainly through the diffusion process. And in case of closed circulatory system, it has well developed circulatory system. That means blood flow through the proper channels. Proper channels means nothing but the, as I told you, that veins and arteries. Oxygenated blood flows through the arteries and deoxygenated blood flows through the veins. So if it has a well developed circulatory system, we call it as a closed circulatory system. And in case of open circulatory system, blood flow through the intracellular spaces, and we call it as an open circulatory system. Examples of open circulatory system are, and we can see this examples in case of insects. In case of many insects, open circulatory system is present, whereas in case of well developed or closed circulatory system, examples are humans and earthworms. This all comes under the closed type of circulatory system. And next one is this components of circulatory system. What are the components of this closed circulatory system? Closed circulatory system consists of three components. First one is blood. Next one is heart, and the third one is lymph. So these are the components of the circulatory system. Let's see each and everything in a detailed manner. So first, blood. What actually this blood is? Blood is the fluid connective tissue. Blood is known as fluid connective tissue. That means it is the only tissue that occurs in the form of liquid. And what is the use of blood? this blood will transport from one part of the body to the other part of the body. So I told you that a circulatory system is like a proper channel and blood is like a transport vehicle. In this circulatory system, in these circulatory channels, blood will travel from one place to the other place. So it acts like a vehicle transporting different types of product from one part of the body to the other part of the body. And as I told you that blood is a fluid connective tissue, and I told you that it is the only tissue that occurs in the form of liquid. And another characteristics of blood is colloidal in nature. Blood is colloidal in nature. That means what actually this colloidal in nature means? So question might be like this: blood is in the form of which nature? So colloidal in nature, aerosol in nature, and emulsion in nature. So colloidal in nature means we know that blood consists of different types of cells like RBC, WBC and platelets, and a combination of these cells are in the form of solid state. When these solids are dissolved in the blood called liquid part, then that solution we call it as a colloidal solution. If solid particles are dissolved in the air, we call it as aerosols. If fats are in the water, we call it as emulsions. And blood comes under the category of colloidal in nature. And next one, study of blood is known as hematology. And this blood is alkaline in nature, slightly alkaline in nature. It is slightly alkaline in nature. And the pH of blood is 7.4 to 7.5. 7.4 to 7.5. So it seems that it is slightly alkaline in nature, and blood constitute 7 to 8% of the total body weight. Blood constitute 7 to 8% of the total body weight. And blood is in red in color. We know that why blood is in red in color. So I will explain in detail in the next slide. So almost all the living organisms have a blood which is like a circulatory system, which is like a transport system or transport vehicle, which helps in the transportation of different kinds of substances in the body. So blood is a combination of many things. And let's see what are the combination of bloods. So blood is formed of plasma. It is the liquid part, and it is and this liquid part is dissolved with the solid parts. And what are the solid parts? Those solid parts are erythrocytes, leukocytes and platelets. Erythrocytes are commonly known as RBC, leukocytes are commonly known as WBC, and platelets are commonly known as thrombocytes. These are the solid parts of the cells dissolved in the liquid part of plasma. And this plasma is a constitution of many things. So it consists of water. Majority of plasma consists of water, and it consists of many organic and inorganic substances which are dissolved in this plasma. Hence plasma seems to be yellow in color. Plasma is yellow in color. And you immediately get a doubt that what is the difference between the plasma and the serum? Plasma consists of proteins, and it may be organic or inorganic in nature. And in case of serum, blood clotting proteins are absent. And it has antibodies. antibodies. It is pale yellow in color. Serum is pale yellow in color. Pale yellow in color. So the basic differences between plasma and serum is that plasma consists of all the inorganic, organic and salts, gases, all the things are dissolved in it, plasma, and plasma is in yellow in color. And next one, and serum, what actually the serum is, serum doesn't consist of blood clotting proteins like fibrinogen, and it consists of antibodies, and it is pale yellow in color. So these are the basic differences between the serum and plasma. And let's see this. So let's see what actually this RBC. RBC are nothing but the red blood cells or erythrocytes. And why this RBC are generally dumbbell or biconcave in shape? Let's see it in the picture. Dumbbell or biconcave in shape. And what is the use of this RBC? RBC helps in transportation of oxygen from the lungs to different parts of the body, and it helps in the transportation of oxygen from one part of the body to other parts of the body, which helps in the production of energy, as we discussed in the respiration topic. So, and what is the use of this biconcave shaped or dumbbell shape of RBC? Due to this shape, the surface area of the RBC is more, and when the surface area is more, it can carry more amount of oxygen. So because of this biconcave shape, RBC can carry more amount of oxygen, and that too these RBC are red in color, and because of this RBC, blood seems to be red in color. And why these RBC are red in color? Because of presence of a protein called hemoglobin. It may be a protein, or it may be a pigment, or it may be a molecule. This hemoglobin is a combination of two parts, heme and next one is globin. Next one is globin. Globin is the protein part, whereas heme consists of iron. Heme consists of iron. So hemoglobin is a combination of iron and protein. Due to this presence of hemoglobin, RBC are red in color, and this hemoglobin helps in transportation of oxygen from one place to the other place. And next one, where this hemoglobin actually forms. This hemoglobin is formed in the bone marrow in case of matured individuals, whereas in case of infants or in case of embryo, it is formed from the liver. And this RBC, as I told you that RBC are 5 million in number, and it varies from person to person. This as I told you that this RBC has a lifespan of 120 days or 4 months. 120 days or 4 months. This is the lifespan of RBC. 120 days or 4 months. After 120 days, what will happen? As I told you that RBC is produced in the bone marrow, and after the completion of 120 days, this RBC will be destructed in the spleen or liver.